The air crackled with tension. Thousands of men stood ready, their English axes gleaming in the autumn sun, facing the formidable Norman army. Normandy, a region in France, was ruled by a powerful duke. His name was William. Suddenly, a shout rang out and the Norman army surged forward. The Battle of Hastings had begun, a battle that would decide the fate of England. The year was 1066. This date would be etched in English history forever. England's King Edward had died, leaving no clear heir and sparking a fierce power struggle. The kingdom was thrown into chaos as various factions vied for control, each believing they had the rightful claim to the throne. 3 men laid claim to the throne, each with their own reasons and supporters. William, Duke of Normandy, asserted that Edward had promised him the throne. He had the backing of the Norman forces and believed his claim was legitimate due to a supposed oath made by Edward. Another claimant was Harold Hardrada, the Viking king of Norway, who had a distant claim through earlier Viking rulers. His claim was based on old agreements and the strength of his Viking heritage. The last was Harold Godwinson, a powerful English earl who was crowned king soon after Edward's death. Harold was a seasoned warrior and a respected leader among the English nobility. Harold's claim was perhaps the weakest in terms of legal right, but he had the crucial support of the English nobility, and he prepared to defend his crown with determination and strategic planning. He did not have long to wait. The stage was set for a monumental conflict that would decide the fate of England, leading to the historic Battle of Hastings. The first challenge came from the north. Hardrada landed in England with a vast Viking army. Harold Godwinson marched north and met Hardrada at Stamford Bridge. The English won a decisive victory and Hardrada was killed. However, Harold's triumph was short-lived. William of Normandy landed in the south, forcing Harold to march his army back, tired from their battle against the Vikings. But Harold had no choice but to confront William. The two armies met at a place called Hastings. The English took up a strong position on a hill, forming a shield wall, a formidable defensive formation. Section 4, Clash of Arms. The Norman army was made up of highly trained Breton, Flemish and Norman French troops. Meanwhile, the Anglo-Saxon army was only composed of infantry, like in the Battle of Stamford Bridge a few weeks ago. Their main line of defense were the housecarls, which were Viking-style long axemen, which were highly trained, and rest were just fyrds, which were Anglo-Saxon militia, which was just poorly trained infantry, mostly of farmers and peasants. On the battlefield, the Normans attacked first with archers, but the Anglo-Saxon shield wall was doing everything to decrease casualties, and the English line was still intact. After seeing the ineffectiveness of archers, William decided to bring back the archers slowly and then charge with infantry and cavalry. The cavalry and infantry charged up the hill to encounter the army. The English, seeing the Norman advance, throwing anything they had to slow the advance. Even after that, the heavily armed Normans charged up the hill, and this time the infantry and cavalry were making some progress, but the fallen ones could be replaced easily due to vast numbers of Anglo-Saxon infantry. The shield wall held its boots with the Normans left scratching their heel. The battle continued to rage on with neither side making good progress and just wasting time. Then William used a cunning tactic. He ordered his troops to feign retreat. It's still unclear was this done on purpose or not, because William's horse was slain 2 times and was buried on top of 2, which may lead to a confusion in the army. But whatever happened, the result was catastrophic for the Anglo-Saxons. The English, thinking they had won, broke ranks to pursue. This was a fatal mistake. The Normans turned and cut down the charging Englishmen. The infantry which left the battle were obliterated by the Norman infantry and cavalry. The Normans now started sending everything at the lines to give them a final blow. While the midst of fighting, legend has it that Harold Godwinson, the person who ended the Viking Age, was struck in the eye by an arrow and killed, delivering a final end to the final king and day of Anglo-Saxon rule in England. His death broke the English resistance. The Normans were victorious. Section 5. Legacy of the Norman Conquest. The Battle of Hastings, fought in 1066, was a pivotal moment that changed the course of English history forever. It marked the beginning of Norman rule in England. William the Conqueror, as he became known, was crowned King of England on Christmas Day in 1066, inside the historic Westminster Abbey. The Norman Conquest had a profound and lasting impact on English culture, architecture and language, reshaping the very fabric of the nation. The Normans brought their own language, French, to England, which began to influence the local dialects and speech. Over time, this French influence blended with Old English, creating a unique linguistic fusion. This fusion laid the foundation for what we now recognize as modern English, a language rich in history and diversity. Many French words entered the English vocabulary, enriching it and expanding its expressive capabilities. Words like castle, parliament and justice are just a few examples of the many terms that were integrated into English. The Normans also brought their feudal system to England, a hierarchical structure that organized society and land ownership. This system of land ownership and social hierarchy would shape English society for centuries, influencing the development of the nation in profound ways. Section 6 echoes of 1066. The legacy of 1066 is still felt today, echoing through the centuries and shaping the world we live in. The Norman Conquest is a reminder that history is made up of turning points, pivotal moments that alter the course of nations. These events can reshape entire cultures and societies, leaving an indelible mark on the collective memory of a people. The events of 1066 are not just dry facts in history books, they are living stories that continue to influence us. They are the foundation stones of modern England, the bedrock upon which contemporary society is built. The language we speak, the laws we follow, and the very fabric of our society are all woven with threads from 1066, intertwining past and present. The Battle of Hastings was not just a battle, it was a seismic event that changed the trajectory of English history. It was a clash of cultures, a turning point in history, and a defining moment for England, setting the stage for the nation's future. The Norman influence can still be seen in the architecture, language, and legal systems that form the backbone of modern England. From the grandest castles to the simplest words we use, the echoes of 1066 resonate in our daily lives, reminding us of our shared history.